All right, so we are going to talk about dividing polynomials. We will talk about synthetic and long division and the remainder and factor theorems. So, polynomial long division is similar to numerical long division. Your dividend is what you're dividing into, and your divisor is what you are dividing by. So the quotient is the answer you're going to get from division. So if you're in my class, you're going to see those. We will actually cover those as we do some dividing. So let's go look at some long division, some basic long division. So let's do some recalling. Recall that if we took 3 and divided it, not a square root, just a long division, into 642, we would take 6 divided by 3 will get us 2. 2 times 3 is 3. We draw the line, 2 times 3 is 6. We draw the line and we change the sign without thinking about it. We went 6 minus 6 is 0. And then we would bring down the 4. 3 goes into 4 one time, 1 goes into 3 3 times. We would draw the line, and we took 4 minus 1 got us 1, or 4 minus 3 got us 1, and bring down the 2. 3 goes into 12 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12, and that would get us 0. We never thought about whether or not it was subtraction. We just did it. All right, let's go into, and our answer would be 214 times. So 7 divides into 786. Well, 7 goes into 7 one time. 1 times 7 is 7. Draw the line. We got the 0 there. And then we bring down the 8. 7 goes into 8 one time. 1 times 7 is 7. 8 minus 7 gets us 1. Bring down our 6. 7 goes into 16 two times. 2 times 7 is 14. When we subtract, we get a 2 left over. So we wrote that over what we were dividing by. So it was 2 over 7. Alrighty. Well, the same process is going to happen in long division. So if we take x plus 3 and we divide it into x squared plus 10x plus 21. Well, how many times does x go into x squared? Well, it's going to go, or what do we need to multiply? So you have to look out kind of that way too. What can I multiply x by to get to x squared? Or how many times does it go in there? So you can always bring it off to the side and go, well, x squared divided by x. We would subtract our exponents and we would find that it is x, right? So if we divide that, we would get x. Or x times x will get us x squared. Either way you want to look at it, we're going to get an x. So x times x would get us x squared. X times 3 would get us 3x. We draw the line, but in order to do this and make sure you don't mess up, because it's not the numbers where we knew we were subtracting, we're going to change both signs. So I'm going to come in and change both signs. So x squared minus x squared will cancel. 10x minus 3x will get us 7x plus 21. So what do I need to either multiply by x to get to 7x, or 7x divided by x will leave us with 7. So we're going to have a plus 7. And again, you can write it over here as 7x divided by x, because those will cancel, you'll get 7. All right, 7 times x is 7x. 7 times 3 is 21. But again, when we draw the line, we're going to change both signs. So that will leave us with 0. So really what we've done also here is we have factored. X plus 3 times x plus 7 is going to get us that. Now, the long division, you're going to have, it has to have a 1 out in the front in order to do it. All right, so let's go look at doing another one. I guess not. All right, so let's go look at example 1. We'll look at another example that's a little bit longer. So if we have 4 minus 5x minus x squared plus 6x cubed by 3x minus 2. So if we're looking to do that division, and what I meant to say up here was synthetic division, you'll have to have the 1, but you can use long division for the ones that don't. So we're going to put 3x minus 2 here, and this you have to put in descending order. So we're going to have to reverse this around. So it'll be 6x cubed. The negative sign still stays with it, so minus x squared minus 5x plus 4. So make sure you get your signs right if you have to move it around. All right, so 6x cubed divided by 3x will get us 2x squared. So you might have to do that to figure out what do you have to multiply by there, or how many times does it go into it. So we'll have 2x squared times 3x will get us 6x cubed. 2x squared times negative 2 will be minus 4x squared. Draw the line and change both signs. So these will cancel. Now we have positive 4x squared minus x squared will get us 3x squared. Bring down the next number of negative 5x. All right, so now we can take 3x squared divided by 3x will leave us with an x. So x will come up here, so plus x. X times 3x will get us 3x squared. X times negative 2 will be negative 2x. Draw the line, change the signs. So those will cancel. Negative 5x plus 2x will get us negative 3x and bring down the plus 4. So we now have negative 3x divided by 3x will get us negative 1. So negative 1 comes up here. Negative 1 times 3x will get us negative 3x. Negative 1 times negative 2 will get us positive 2. Draw the line, change both signs, and we end up with the 2 left over. So we will come up here and we will, it's positive, we're going to add 2 over our 3x minus 2. So it's going to work out the same way as if we were doing long division in with just numbers. All right, so we've talked a little bit about long division. We're going to talk a little bit about synthetic division. So it's going to be a little similar to it. We're going to still do division, but the divisor has to be in the form of x minus c. So that's what I was talking about on that previous example. So this will work for long division or synthetic. A problem like this, you're going to have to do your long division here for these type. So I'm going to kind of go through the steps of what synthetic division will look like with an example. So we're going to work it both ways with the long division and synthetic. If I have a choice, I actually prefer synthetic division because I think it's faster. And we're going to divide by x minus 3. All right, so let's work this in long division. So with long division, we are going to put our x minus 3 out front and divide into, this is already in descending order. All right, so what am I going to get if I take x cubed divided by x? Well, I'm going to get x squared. And again, you can do it off to the side. So x squared times x will get me x cubed. X squared times negative 3, negative 3x squared. Draw the line, change both signs. Those will cancel, and we end up with 7x squared. And that first term should always cancel as you're going. Otherwise, it's not going to look very fun, and you're going to get the wrong answer. So negative 5x, bring it down. Now, what do I have to multiply x by to get 7x squared? Well, that's going to be 7x. So positive 7x times x, 7x squared, 7x times negative 3, negative 21x. Draw the line and change both signs. So my x squareds will cancel. So 21 minus 5 will get me 16x and bring down my positive 5. So x times what will get me 16, or 16x divided by x? Well, that's going to be 16. You can look at it either way. 16 times x will get you 16x. 16 times negative 3 will get you negative 48. Draw the line. Change both signs. The 16x's will cancel. 5 plus 48 will get me 53. So I will have a plus 53 over my x minus 3. All right, so let's work the same problem. Let's use synthetic division. So, synthetic division, remember it has to be an x minus c. It already is. So that means the 3 will come right there. So it's going to be opposite of what you're looking at. And we're going to bring down the leading coefficients. So 1, 4, negative 5, and 5. You do have to zero fill if you're missing one. So if we didn't have this one, we'd have to put in a 0 because you have to allow for all the degrees that are in your equation. We're going to draw a line. I'm going to put an arrow here so that we remember we don't do anything in that first spot. We just bring down the first number. 1 times 3 is 3. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 times 3 is 21. 21 minus 5 will get us 16. 16 times 3 is 48. 48 plus 5 is 53. Now, when you write your answer, you're going to go down 1 degree than where you started. Because we factored out the x minus 3, it has to go down 1. So it'll be 1x squared plus 7x plus 16 plus 53 over x minus 3. Now, if you notice, these are exactly the same. And you can see how the numbers follow suit here, where we had a 3, a 21, and a 48. So it works the same way, but to me this is a lot simpler to do as long as you understand what you're doing. So you're multiplying this way to put it up here, and then you're adding or subtracting depending on if they're positive or negative right there. All right, but you get the same answer. So let's go work some with synthetic division. So let's look at example 3. So we are going to divide 5x cubed plus 6x plus 8 by x plus 2. Now, remember this has to be an x minus c, so that's really like x minus negative 2. Or it's going to be the opposite of what you see. It's going to be a negative 2 that goes into your box. And we have to zero fill. So I have an x cubed and I have an x, but I don't have any x squareds. So I'm going to put a 5, a 0 for the x squareds, a 6, and an 8. Because you have to allow that when you do the division, you're probably going to end up with an x squared term. Again, we're going to bring down the 5. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. 0 minus 10 is negative 10. Negative 10 times negative 2 is positive 20. 20 plus 6 will get us 26. 26 times negative 2 is negative 52. Negative 52 plus 8 will get us negative 44, or 8 minus 52, whichever way you want to say it. We drop down a degree, so we have 5x squared minus 10x plus 26 minus 44 over x plus 2. Now in the homework they may have it as plus, and then you just put the negative up on top. It doesn't matter either way. All right, so let's go look at the remainder theorem. So on the remainder theorem, if the polynomial f of x is divided by x minus c, then the remainder is f at c. All right, so let's use the remainder theorem. So let's use the remainder theorem. to find f at 2. For f of x equals x cubed minus 4x squared plus 5x plus 3. So that's our f at 2. That means 2 goes in the box. You don't change the sign. You do exactly what they give you if they give you an f at 2. So 2, and then we're looking for our coefficients. They'll be 1, -4, 5, and 3. So 1, -4, 5, and 3. So that'll bring down 1 times 2 is 2. -4 plus 2, or 2 minus 4. -2 times 2 gets us -4. 5 minus 4 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 plus 2 will get us 5. This is the answer you're looking for with the remainder theorem. You're only looking for the remainder. So f at 2 equals 5. Now, you can check yourself by plugging in the 2 into there, and you should end up with 5. But if I'm asking you on the exam, you have to show me the synthetic division. Just plugging the value into it is not enough. It's like the showing me algebraically whether it was even, odd, or neither. You can't just look at the exponents. You can use that as a check, but you actually have to be able to do the work. So make sure you know how to do synthetic division to show me that answer. All right, so let's go look at the factor theorem. So the factor theorem says that if f of x is a polynomial, if f at c equals 0, then x minus c is a factor of f of x. If x minus c is a factor of f of x, then f at c should be 0. So basically what we're saying is if it's a factor, then we should, or a 0 is another way to look at that, we should get 0 at the end. All right, so let's look at example 5. So we're going to solve 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 11x plus 6 equal to 0, given 3 is a 0. So it's a factor, it's a 0. So that means that 3 is going to go in our box, and if it tells us it's a 0, we should get a 0. If you don't get 0 when you do the synthetic division, then you did something wrong. All right, so 3 goes in my box. I'm not missing any exponents. As I go down, it's descending just right. So we'll have 2, -3, -11, and 6. Draw our line, bring down the first part. So 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 minus 11 is -2. -2 times 3 is -6. 6 minus 6 is 0. If I did not get a 0 here, I did something wrong. It has to be a 0 because they said it's a 0. So you're going to get 0 here. Now we'll write this down as an equation. So 2x squared, because remember we dropped down a degree from the cubed, plus 3x minus 2. We're going to set that equal to 0 because we need to factor this. You could also, if you knew another 0, you could use that, but we're going to factor it. So if we're looking for the values of how this factors, then we can do our AC method. So A times C getting us to B. So 2 times -2 is -4, trying to get to 3. So if I start with 1 and 4, the 3 is positive, so I need the 4 to be positive, because when I add them together, I need a positive number. But because we're supposed to get a negative, it'll be -1 times 4 is -4. When I add them, I will get 3. And that's what I'm looking for. So that means I'm going to rewrite that middle number. So 2x squared minus x plus 4 minus 2, so 4x minus 2, still equal to 0. All we did is rewrite the 3x as -x plus 4x. And we can factor that out by grouping. so that has a common factor of x. So we get 2x minus 1. Bring down the plus sign between these two. I can factor out a 2. And I'll get 2x minus 1. We know we did it right because these match. So I factor out the 2x minus 1, and I'm left with x plus 2. Because the x plus 2 come together, equal to 0. Set each part equal to 0. So 2x minus 1 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0. 2x will equal 1, divide by 2. X will equal 1/2. And here x will equal negative 2. So that tells me that all of my zeros are going to be the 3 that they gave me, the negative 2, and the 1/2. So this is a way to know what all of your zeros are. You're going to have to be able to do synthetic division, and you need to know how to factor. All right, let's go look at another example. So example 6, we want to solve 15x cubed plus 14x squared minus 3x minus 2 equals 0, given that negative 1 is a 0. So that tells me my negative 1 will go in the square. I'm not missing any of my exponents, so we'll have 15, 14, negative 3, and negative 2. Draw the line, bring down the first number. So 15 times negative 1, negative 15. 14 minus 15 will be negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. 1 minus 3 will get us negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. So again, they said it was a 0. I should get a 0. So 15x squared minus x minus 2 is equal to 0. So this will work the same way we did the last problem as far as factoring goes. So for the AC method, so we have A times C trying to get to B. So 15 times negative 2 would be negative 30, trying to get to negative 1. All right, so you can work as many numbers as you want coming down. I could start with 1 and 30. Knowing that this has to be negative, the 30 will be negative this time. So 1 times negative 30 gets us negative 30. When I add it, I get to negative 29. So 2 times negative 15 gets me negative 30. When I add them, I get negative 13. 3 times negative 10 gets me negative 30. When I add them, I get negative 7. 30 won't divide by 4, but it'll divide by 5. So 5 times negative 6 gets me negative 30. When I add them, I get negative 1, and that's the number I'm looking for. So now I'll write negative 1x as 5x minus 6x. So 15x squared plus 5x minus 6x minus 2 equals 0. We'll cut them in half again. Here I can factor out a 5x and get 3x plus 1 minus 2 times 3x plus 1, because bring down that negative and they both have a 2 factor. They both have 3x plus 1, so we knew we did that correctly. So we'll have 3x plus 1 times 5x minus 2 equals 0. So 3x plus 1 equals 0, and 5x minus 2 equals 0. Subtract our 1 over, we get 3x equals negative 1. Divide by 3, x will equal negative 1/3. Add the 2 over, we get 5x equals 2. Divide by 5, and x will equal 2/5. So our zeros includes the first one we were given, the negative 1/3, and the positive 2/5. And that's how you find all of the zeros, or to solve it, because we found all the zeros and we also solved the problem to find all the answers.